Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 has been out for a little while, so I decided to draw Lily Long Braids in 4 different styles. And the styles that we have today are plush, cartoon, horror, and realistic. Let's start off with the cartoon effect. For the cartoon, I'm going to primarily be using our paint pens, and the reason why we're going to use paint pens is they, one, layer incredibly smooth, and they just have that bold, illustrative look that we want to see throughout the piece. They're smooth, they're really pigmented, and that's basically what you're trying to achieve with the cartoon style. Is really solid, bold colors that look like they've just been stamped onto the page, and paint pens are the perfect representation for this medium. But now that you've got these paint pens, how are you going to use them? Well, here's a couple of tips. One, work nice, slowly, and evenly. As you see here, I am not rushing it at all. I'm allowing the paint to flow right out of the marker by going nice and slow, so that way we don't have those streaky marks that you might see that you get often. One way to make sure that you don't get those streak marks is to go over it. And if you have to go over it horizontally if you went vertically, or vertically if you went horizontally. That way you get a smooth coverage that covers the gaps both ways. Another useful tip when you're using your paint pens is to often dab off the excess ink that comes on your paper. A lot of times you won't notice it, but I have cheat sheets off to the side that basically, as you paint over the shadows and the highlights on top of your base colors, some of the undercolor is going to rub off, especially if you paint in many layers. So what you want to do is rub that stuff off, so that way when you paint over the top, it's a smooth, bold, crisp, clear color. And my last tip, and probably the most important tip, is to make sure that you wait at least 5 minutes between each layer. So between your highlights and your shadows, give about a good 5 minutes to let the paint really dry. Unless you're looking for a more painterly, smudgy kind of effect, which will happen if you don't let everything fully dry. Otherwise, once again, do make sure everything dries completely. That way, you'll have a smooth, clean, illustrative cartoon look. And now, we are going to head on over to the realistic side. And yes, that is right, we are going to head on over to the realistic side because I want to kind of showcase it a little earlier in the films than they normally do. I am, however, going to do this realistic side with a little bit of a twist. See, how I'm going to tackle this particular section is in multiple parts. One, I'm going to be using primarily alcohol markers and inks. Inks for the eyes, alcohol markers for the hair and the face, mainly because I want to get that really smooth, glossy, doll-like texture that Lily has. But when we get to the hair, that's when I'm really going to show you something. I'm going to give you a couple of different tips and tricks for how I do hair and how it has different effects. So you can play around with it at home and see which kind of style works better for you. First things first, whenever I tackle any hair, I always like to add a base layer down first, regardless of any style that I do. This just kind of gets the white off the paper and gives me an idea of how I want to tackle each section. But for the first section, a really good, easy way to have a quick hair effect is basically to use some paint pens or some darker alcohol markers or color pencils, whichever medium you have, and basically just layer in your highlights, layer in your shadows with like a quick flicking motion. And then you can blend in layers over the top. This is more of an impressionistic style. It's something pretty quick, but it'll give you a really good, close representation of some realism in hair. The second way you can do it is by adding a lot of dark first. Now, I like to do it this way. When I add a lot of dark, then I can flick in the colors across the top, blend out the grays, add the highlights over the top, and then by balancing back and forth, you can get a really cool, quick representation, again, of realism. This is a little bit how I like to do it, but the third and the final way is quite possibly the best way, but it takes time. This is how you're going to get really silky, smooth, realistic hair. As you can see that we've been working on this section, you want to pick the highlights, the shadows, and the midtones and establish those first in quite big, large bunches. Then you're going to add even more midtones. and even more shadow and more highlights, and you're going to blend them in between the two. And what I mean by that is you're basically going to bounce a subtone that's a little bit lighter or a little bit darker than the tone that's there. And then that's how you're going to get those little highlights and subtle shifts of hair. So sometimes you'll add a little purple where there's pink or pink where there's purple, etc. But you always want to add a couple of hints of dark and a couple of hints of highlight here as you're seeing throughout. That's going to give those little wisps of hair that kind of float across the top. Now, for the skin tone. I'm pretty much working with two simple skin tones, and I'm going to blend them pretty easily. So a quick tip for how to blend skin or blend any two colors with alcohol markers is get them pretty close. You don't want something like red and green. You're going to get brown. It's going to be really hard to blend those. But if you use a light brown and a light tan color, then you can blend them pretty easily. But you want to make sure that the ink is still wet on the paper and then quickly bounce between the two colors and then let the ink just blend, and you treat it like an acrylic marker and you will get super smooth transitional blends. And one final tip, if you're really struggling, you can always use color pencils to blend out your smudged areas, or if you're just not that confident, just go with a single layer of color and then add the color pencils over the top like I'm showing you here. I kind of want to showcase a little bit of a more tutorial with this. Give you all the little tips and tricks that will help maybe take you from a beginner artist to an intermediate artist. And if you already know some of these, well, maybe it'll help you revisit them and kind of get back into the habits of creating new and fun ways to basically design characters or color theory, etc. And now with the realistic side complete, we are going to head on over to the plushie style. Now, I really haven't done this one, but there is so much representation of plushie characters in Poppy Playtime. Whether it was the Nightmare Critters or the Smiling Critters, the plushie cartoon look has just been a staple of the franchise, so I just wanted to represent Lily in that style. Since they don't really have a plushie out yet, I looked up examples of Poppy from Poppy Playtime, and I used this to basically give the sketched look. Basically, what you want to achieve with the plushie style is big rounded features, kind of stubby, but considering the pose had the hands and a steeple, I still kind of kept the hands in place. Now, if I was doing a full plushie, I just would have had a nub of a hand, but then the design looks just really weird and disjointed. So how I offset that is by rounding out the hands and basically giving just a small indication of the stitched fingers. But to completely finish the plushie style, what we want to do is give a very simple matte color across the page, very similar to the cartoon effect. Then, what we're going to do is gently rub any color that's either a highlight or a shadow over the top. And we're going to use the tooth or grain of the paper as the representation of all those little bumps. Sure, we could sit there and kind of meander about and add all these little micro dots. If you're going for hyperrealism, God bless you, go ahead, keep doing it. But for me, I want something quick, I want something lively, I want something that's representative without having to spend hours and hours. Maybe that's just the inner Bob Ross in me, but I don't want to be spending hours trying to capture every little nook and cranny. So we're just going to allow the paper to do it for us. Let me know what you all think if you want the plushie style to continue, because now we move on over to the horror style. And this is something that I really loved with the design. It's kind of funky, it's kind of silly, it's a little creepy, because I try to keep things PG, but overall, I just really love creating new creatures. It's my love and passion. It's something that I always want to get into art for, is to create cool dragons and orcs and creepy characters and goblins, etc. I just love making things that are not realistic, that are of the surreal or horror. So this is just always up my wheelhouse. It's why I always kind of add a portion to almost all of my videos. So for this, we're basically going to make her look like a zombie. When I do my horror characters, the one thing that I always look to achieve is really solid blacks and smooth grays. The reason being is I want the characters to see the cracks in their face, the damage that they may have been taken, etc. And the one basic way to do that is by really securing your darkest darks and feathering out your grays to give those ridges and cracks, etc., all of those little subtle transitions of light. When we get those stamped down on the page, then we can add into the eyeball and the color there and the teeth, etc. once again, because we want to make sure that the silhouette is correct. One thing that I really did like about this piece is the big bloodshot eyes, and one cool trick that you can do is make sure that your darkest red or your most vibrant red when you're doing these effects are towards the edges, and then you feather it out with like a lighter colored pencil towards the middle. I really want to showcase a lot of damage in the head and in the eye area as if skin has just been torn away, and we're going to let some of those blood textures drip down. This is a little bit more gory than what I might normally do, but it's just, well, it's apropos for this game, and I really think that it fits. So I kind of like the goofy teeth. It makes it a little silly, and the kind of ripped out, torn out hair, but it's just, I don't know, it's a little bit of silly, a little bit of scary, kind of like what a horror new school tattoo would look like. I don't know. I really love this design. It's one of my more favorite horror designs. So let me know what you think. Which was your favorite section? Was it the horror? Was it the realistic? Was it the plushie? Or was it the cartoon? Let me know in the comments, and as always, I shall see you all in the next video.